The Manwhore podcast is sponsored by Pure. The Pure app lets awesome people have casual sex tonight. Download Pure on Google Play or the App Store. Pure, the hookup app that says it's a hookup app. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Manwhore podcast.
Hey there, jerky girls and Johnny boys. This is Billy Persida, and you're listening to the Manwhore podcast. It's here. It's finally here. The long-awaited, oft-talked-about happy ending massage episode. Yeah, I'm excited too, and I'm going to tell you more about it in a little bit. But first, no show dates, people. No show dates to announce right now. Just stay tuned over at manwhorepod.com/comedy if you're in the greater New York City area and curious if I'm getting on stage somewhere. However, I do have this date to remind you about. 2 weeks from now, if you're listening to this on the day of release, which of course in podcast land, you might be listening to this years from now. Who knows? Wednesday, April 26th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing another Fanwhore Facebook Live Hangout. Okay? This was really fun last month, and I want to see y'all there. Put in your iCals, set an alarm, and more importantly, go like the Manwhore Podcast fan page so you don't miss a notification. And again, people, it's the fan page for the Manwhore Podcast that you should like. I don't accept Facebook friend requests from strangers. I am flattered, but I would really appreciate it if you would instead go like the fan page. I promise I cross-post most of the stuff over there anyway. You're not going to be missing out on much. It just means you won't be able to find my phone number. That's all. But as usual, head on over to manwhorepod.com for all your Manwhore podcast needs. Sign up for the mailing list. Okay, I want to see you signed up for that. That way you can get my monthly newsletter and also be considered for fun sex toy giveaways and get any other important updates regarding me, the show. It's also my way of knowing where you all are. Okay, if I realize I have, 500 listeners in fucking Iowa, I'll go do some stand-up comedy in Iowa, and I'm going to email you about it. Okay? I want to say thank you I got more gifts. So I got some belated breakup gifts. So I wanted to say a big shout-out and thank you to Heather for the very nice pen. This is now the second pen that I have received from a listener. I don't know what the fascination is with pens that cost more than $2.99. It's not a jelly pen. If it was a jelly pen, I'd get it. Hey, we all went gaga over those when we were 12. But I got this Idea Pool pen. It's very nice. It's heavy. And that's in addition to this other pen I got from a different listener that looked also expensive. Thank you for that. Also, the very nice notebook, which I look forward to writing in. And then thank you to Z for the DVD of Inside Out. Because, I wasn't done crying, I guess. And in addition to that, I got like $30 worth of Cold Stone Creamery gift cards for my Amazon wish list. That's nuts. If you want to get me some from the Amazon wish list, you'll see a link to that on the website. But yeah, thank you, everyone, for the continued kindness over the breakup. I promise I'm getting over it. Now I'm just trying to get over the breakup weight, which these Cold Stone Creamery gift cards are certainly not going to be helpful with. What's this tweet? What's this text? So I'm supposed to be organizing a gangbang for somebody and trying to work out the particulars. Okay. But in addition to gifts from Amazon wishlist, I also just love hearing from you. I love seeing your tweets. I love getting your emails. I got this one from @moldyoldfart. Holy crap. Just listen to the #sadbag episode. It's like the saddest movie, followed by the cheesiest movie. And then also this one from @trashy_brain. listening to hashtag Manwhore podcast number 46 with Brandon, and want to let you know that people are still listening in 2017. Love it. I guess Brandon and I were both doubting if anyone was listening back then. Oh man, that's an old episode. Wow. Number 46. People, this one's episode 157. Holy fuck. I've been talking about sex things for a while. So I'm going to tell you more about this happy ending massage episode. You know, I recorded. So again, the episode is I talk to a woman who does sensual body rub, full body sensual massage, massage plus, rub and tug, body rubs, or more commonly known as a happy ending massage. Right. And I talked to her about her work and herself and what she does while she gave me the massage. And oh man, it was really fun to record. But before I tell you about that massage, the next night, you know, I had a little extra money in my pocket and I decided to go revisit the Asian massage parlors. I mean, one in particular. I went lately at night. I was super horny. Shout out to a couple fans on Twitter, Sage and Sarah on Twitter, who I was trying to figure out my horniness. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just go get a happy ending massage. And I'm going to go get an Asian one because they're cheap. And I want to get a table shower. And I want a good massage. And then I just remembered why I don't like Asian massage parlors. I mean, the next night I go, I get there at, it must have been 1 a.m., 12:30. Yeah, it must have been like 1 a.m. when I finally get to the place. And when I get there, you know, I had called earlier and asked, hey, can I choose who I'm going to see? It was a Saturday night, so I thought they would be like somewhat well staffed. But I said, I want to be able to choose which girl. Which, when you're dealing with a language barrier, is really fucking difficult. Because they say, oh, you want two, girl. I'm not trying to do racist Asian accent. I'm saying this is the accent that was talking to me on the phone. She go, oh, you want a two, girl? I'm like, no, I want to choose which girl. She's like, three, girl? I'm like, no, I want to, like, select which. No? Okay, you know what? We'll figure it out when I get there. I remember one time I was at a place and I was trying to explain to the mama-san, whoever's, like, running the place, that I want to select which woman gives me the massage. But she's not understanding fucking any word that's coming out of my mouth. So there's a bowl of candies. And I take out, like, there's, like, peppermints. So I take out the peppermints. I put, like, 4 of them in a row. And then I mimic me picking one and be like, I want to pick one of these. And they kind of sort of get the idea. Because here's the thing. I don't want them to just send the girl and then I say yes or no and then they send me the next one. That seems kind of cruel. I would rather it be like a lineup where I'm selecting one. Because then at least the first chick doesn't just feel super rejected. She just feels like not selected. I feel like being not selected is not nearly as bad as being rejected. Right? Also, you know, there were only 2 women working that night. So one is older and the other one was younger. And I chose her, but that was probably a mistake because like I felt like I had the happy ending massage parlor intern. It looked like she was there for college credit. I wasn't sure she knew all the things that she was doing. And that's why you got to go with the older ones because, yeah, they're older. Yeah, they don't always look as good. But, man, they know what they're doing. She can get in there. She knows the tricks. She knows that little thing with the ball scratch right underneath the gooch. Like, she knows all the moves. You know, this girl brings me to the table shower. And if you don't know what a table shower it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a table that is a shower. And they just, they clean you up. They wash you. A table shower is actually quite divine. I must recommend, even if it's in a non-sexual context. The table shower, you're lying down. Okay, I will organize the gangbang later. Okay, lady, I'll put that on silent for now. You're lying down and she's using a shower head to run water up and down your body and soap and stuff, and again all the nooks and crannies and cracks. You feel very clean. Sometimes I've felt like I just wanted a table shower and no massage and no happy ending. But she's just sloppy with the table shower. Like, one thing of the table shower is you're supposed to very carefully run the water up, and water's not supposed to go above my neck. You got a pro, your face is not getting wet at all. It's not getting splashed. Your hair doesn't get touched. But this one's just letting the water run free, you know. When she's moving up my body with the handle, like, I'm getting water on my face, my hair's getting wet. And that's when I realized, I was like, fuck, I should have gone with the experienced pro. I should have selected the woman who's been given these since Reagan was in office, you know? Like, my mistake. We finally get to the massage table. I'm lying down there, and even just maybe I didn't even pick the right parlor, because this place, you know, it smelled like my mom doing laundry, and that's not exactly the image you want in your head when you're getting jerked off, you know. This was definitely one of the seedier AMPs I've been to, because most of them like are above ground, and it's all. I mean, yeah, it's dimly lit, but you feel like you're in a place. This one, like, it was a nail salon. Then I walk in, she leads me behind a curtain and then down some steps into a basement. And I start thinking, oh, so I'm being walked into one of those Hostel movies. I'm totally gonna be tied up, and then they're gonna slit my Achilles heels. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to be led into a dungeon. You don't want to be in a dirty place. You don't want, like, the first thing you think of when you come to be, is this woman being trafficked? You don't want that thought in your head after you finally, you know, get the normal chemicals rushing back into your brain. It's not a great feeling. And the massage is all right, and, you know, she's doing a pretty good job of that. But then the flip comes, and she does that fucking thing I hate. And maybe this is just a younger Asian massage parlor thing, because I feel like I haven't faced this with older providers and I don't even want to call them providers. Jesus, they do not deserve the title. I don't think I've faced this with the older AMP women. But the younger one, just so concerned about the money, and, like, I get it. It's your job. You're trying to make money. But they bring up the money on the flip. So when you flip over, that's when the sensual and the hand job is going to start. But they want, like, a guaranteed number beforehand. And that, for one thing, that puts you in a legally precarious situation. And I don't know if precarious is the right word there, but let's just pretend it is. But also just gets me out of the mood. I just had a really nice, relaxing massage. I'm in a nice headspace, and now you're bringing money into it. Like, shut the fuck up. Well, now I gotta try to negotiate a hand job or a blow job or sex. Like, I don't want that. And if you need a guaranteed number, that's fine. Let's talk about it beforehand. Like, when I come in, when I'm getting undressed, say, okay, I need this $60 mouth, $100. Like, bring it up then. That's fine. Because then I'm going to go into the massage and you can relax all that bad juju shit out of me. That uncomfortable money talk out of me. By the time I flip over and we're on to that really awesome part, it's out of my mind. But I fucking hate the money talk. And I just was saying, like, I don't want to. And again, there's a language barrier. Like, if she spoke full English, this would be less of a problem. I could just say, I don't want to talk about money during the massage. So she ends up, like, not giving me the happy ending. She doesn't. It was a very sad ending. She just gives me a regular front massage, and I'm trying to wave signals and buck my hips to signal, like, hey, I want this. I just can't talk about the money part. You get a tip. Like, that's how this works. But sadly, she eventually leaves. She goes like, oh, we're finished. I'm like, that's it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, fuck yourself. I have a tip. And I couldn't even get her to leave. Like, I want like some privacy so I can be mad about this to myself. But she's staying, trying to clean. I have to try to say, get the fuck out of here. I would have said, get the fuck out of here, but she wouldn't have understood. But I finally get her to leave, and I'm getting dressed. I'm looking at my phone, and I'm despondent. Another vocab word I'm not sure I'm using correctly. And I said, and I'm all oily still, and, you know, I go like, fuck it. And then I just spite jerked off onto the sheets. I was like, I'm coming anyway. I came here to come. I'm gonna come. If I paid money for a massage and don't get my happy ending, you're still going to have to do laundry. So I don't know. And that's why I like independence. I like independence because, one, they speak English, so it makes the barter system easier. They're more expensive, but like I just get better quality, and I'm going to get something that's a little more sensual and with a good provider like the one I have today, Molly. They're going to care more. They're going to be more friendly. You won't feel dirty leaving there. Like, yes, you just paid for sex work, but you almost don't feel like you paid for sex work if they did their job well. If they do a good job, you ideally forget about the money. Because typically you're paying up front and you put the money down and then you're doing it. And then when you leave, you don't even remember that you paid money for a hand job until you go to buy a hot dog and in your wallet there's an ATM receipt. So I'm a big fan. Spend the extra money, get a way better service. That's my personal opinion. So yeah, this episode, Molly, who actually is a massage provider who I saw my senior year of high school. So in a way, she does qualify to be on the podcast because in a way we hooked up years ago. She gave me a hand job years ago, and now we're going to talk about it while she gives me another hand job. It's oh my God, this one was so much fun. I've been trying to do this episode for years. So I was researching providers and I stumbled upon Molly and I realized, I've seen her before. She was really fun. She's really cute. And we arranged to do this episode. We recorded at a friend's place because she has a massage table and it's a studio where like we would have privacy. And it was so much fun. This podcast will sound a little differently than the others. This podcast might sound a little differently from my normal episodes. This one might sound a little more like my love episode from Valentine's Day. Remember that compilation episode I did? Well, here's the thing. I set up a microphone next to my face on the massage table. That one was fine. I also had a wireless lavalier mic that I taped to her chest. That one was working fine, but when I got home, it turns out that the battery died on that microphone 20 minutes into our recording. I freaked out. However, I did record a backup on my phone on a recording app that the women from that love episode in February, it was the same one that they used. So I had it recording as backup and it ended up being usable. So thank God, we were able to salvage the episode. But if you can detect any audio engineers out there, if you detect a little bit of a difference in sound quality or more background noise, it's because the recording setup was different for this one. For obvious reasons. She needs both of her hands at all times. I don't want to have her holding a microphone. I do not recommend skipping any portion of this episode if you want to hear the thing that I think some of you want to hear, you fucking perverts. I put a poll on Twitter. It was like, hey, I'm editing the Happy Ending Massage episode. Should I leave the climax in there? Should I cut it out? Should it be a bonus episode? And like 92% of everyone was like, put it in. Fucking pervs. There's something we discuss during the episode. We talk about, being an exception. We talk about Johns who sometimes get a little attached to a sex worker, who sometimes forget that they are paying for a service and that this is not someone who is actually giving you a hand job because they really want to. And we talk about things like subspace, right? Dom space. I really think that there is something called John space. There is 100% a mindset you are in when you are a John, and for that hour, or for whatever period of time you have paid for, when you have a good provider, you sometimes forget that, like I said before, you forget that you paid for this. And if you're talking and you're chatting like Molly and I are, you get the chemicals in your brain are thinking like, oh, we're making a connection. This is a date. It's just a date where we're both already naked and she's giving me a massage. And you can definitely come down from John's space. You start coming down from John's space, moments after the door closes when she walks out. And you have to remember, oh yeah, that was not what the chemicals in my brain told me it was. Doesn't mean you didn't have a great time. Doesn't mean it wasn't valid. Doesn't mean it wasn't fun. Doesn't mean it wasn't consensual. It just means that it was a transaction at the end of the day. Now, some people can come down from that and be depressed about it. Some can be like, yeah, that was fucking, yeah, I paid for it and that's great. And I don't know. I think for me, it's the connection I make in the conversation that is the harder part to disconnect from. I can disconnect. Like, I don't have to obsess over someone who jerks me off one time, right? But when you have that conversation, you feel a connection. You're like, oh, I could you start thinking, wait, I could go on a date with this person, right? Not the case. Or at least not a date that would be free. John Space. Something to think about. Because as woke as you may be, you may still fall for the folly of your cock who thinks that this person touching it is 100% into you. But most of the time, I'm not going to leave wiggle room. All the time, she's into your wallet. And once in a blue moon, maybe a little into you too, as you'll hear during this episode. But Molly was fantastic. But I think you're all really going to enjoy this one. This is definitely a different type of episode. Okay, so now here is how here's what you're hearing. There's a lot of me on my stomach, right? Then at one point, you're going to hear me flip. And we recorded 2 hours. She was extremely generous with her time. More than what the hour that I was expecting. While I was on my back, we did like a little over an hour. So what I've done is I've condensed that period of time, the flip portion. You're going to hear some of that. The rest of it has been clipped out for a $10 bonus episode on Patreon. A lot more of the moaning portion, we'll say. So if anything sounds like it's snipped or it sounds like a jump cut, it's because it is. But I think you're going to hear a good chunk of, well, the part that you want to hear. My degenerate, filthy, disgusting, slutty fans, you. And if you do want to hear the flip portion in its entirety, do head over to my Patreon page and pledge $10 or more. When you make that pledge, by the way, you don't get just access to that bonus episode. You will instantly have access to all of the back bonus episodes. Dozens and dozens of bonus episodes. We're talking about hours upon hours of extra Manwhore podcast. In theory, one could pledge $10, binge listen to all of them, and then decrease or, dare I say, delete their pledge. Although I would hope that if you are doing that you will at least go down to $1 a month and stick around at that level and remain in our Patreon community. But Jesus, if there's ever a time to get on Patreon, it's now. I just released a hilarious bonus episode last week with Adam Lucidi. And then this massage episode, people, there's some good stuff over there. So stay tuned for that. But for everyone else, enjoy listening to me get a happy ending massage from Molly. We've always left that to the provider. Yeah. I was just like, do whatever's natural for you. If I don't like, then I can always adjust. But exactly. I want to see what your style is. Right?
I gotta check it out.
Right. So if we could lose this guy right here, okay. I'm gonna do a little touching. That cool?
Go ahead. Of course. You're gonna be doing a lot of touching, so.
All right.
Don't be shy. Good spot for it.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have a nice table to rest on.
Exactly. And I'll take this off at some point, and I don't think it will disturb it. It seems like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
And then we can always there'll be tape, so we can always fix it. But I think that's going to stay in place. Does that seem prohibitive?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna get myself ready.
Yeah.
we can do this weird idea that I
It's a
had.
great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been telling my friends about it. They're like,
Really?
Great idea.
Are they all like provider friends? Or?
No.
No.
None of my friends
Huh.
are provider friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have a few providers that I'm close with, but not. I just moved to a different spot again, so
Okay.
that's my original. No,
Back
my
to
second spot I
New
was
York
ever
Comedy
at.
Club ones?
No, I was there again, and then I went to. So I started on the east side, went to the west side, went back to the east side, and then the upper east side, and now I'm back to the west side.
All right. I'm just gonna look at this guy one time before.
Yeah.
Don't want to get like done, and then that was the big thing. I was like, unlike other episodes where I can always hit them up and be like, oh, let's do it again. I was like, I kind of only have one shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only episode that has like an appearance fee.
Can I curse?
You can say whatever the fuck
Okay.
you want. Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh
trying
yeah.
to be
No, look, we try to stay clean when we do our hand jobs. In
Right,
this podcast.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, my hands are a tiny bit cold. Sorry. About
That's
that.
okay.
Keep it warm for you.
It's okay.
Okay.
And then which name do we go by today?
I'm Molly again.
You're Molly again.
I'm back to being Molly. I'm so happy about it.
It's gonna be kind of like when an actor just gets hit up to reprise his old role. It's like, well, I guess I'm gonna be Logan again.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. I missed it. I had to change my email, change a lot of stuff.
yeah. Do you have was that for any particular purpose that you were using different names?
Yeah, legal reasons, let's say.
Okay.
I've never been in trouble myself, but unfortunately I've been involved with collectives that have been, so
Okay.
I try to be careful. I'm very low-key, but unfortunately in this industry you never really know
Of course. Of
what will
course.
happen, so... But all seems well and good now.
That's good.
Back to me.
Nice. Back to Dear Molly.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, we're just kind of jumping right into it. I'm on a massage table with a beautiful busty woman giving me I haven't had a massage in quite some time.
Oh, no way. Gotta get the more. It's so necessary.
Yeah, when the funds provide, I'm all about it, and finally can do this. So how did you get started with doing these?
I used to be a burlesque dancer.
I like how I thought that was your head leaning
Oh,
up against
no.
the back of my head. It was
Nope.
totally just a really big tip.
They're not even out of a bra yet, and still, somehow.
I was like, is she getting like nice and close and personal? Oh, that's just a massive tip.
I'm always nice and close and personal.
Mm-hmm.
With people I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were a burlesque dancer?
I was really shy growing up, and sort of did that to see if I could, kind of, when I was 18, 19. And graduated college, went away for a while, came back, and I was like, I don't want to do desk jobs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some sex work, see what happens. Answered an ad on Backpage, almost didn't go. And next thing you know,
How long ago was this?
this was 7 years ago.
Okay.
Long time.
Yeah, because I saw you about 6 years ago.
Yes.
Or 7 years. Yeah, like,
That's crazy.
I was like, I still can't believe I was like repeating a sex worker from like 6 years ago. From when I was in college.
I was in college too. I was in grad school.
Let's start with the fact that I was like seeing that. It was so weird being like 21, 22 and going, and they'd be so like I have had a couple check my ID. To the point I would like start warning them beforehand. I'd be like, hey, just like an FYI, I'm on the younger side. I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
And then some would actually turn me down. They'd be like, hell no.
Wow, it's true. I honestly, like, I think you're an exception to this rule, but a lot of people who are young and come are very, like, they become kind of obsessive, or they think it's a different thing than it is.
Well, like guys,
Like, they're very inexperienced, let's say.
okay.
But, or a lot of them will kind of then think, like, oh, I saw you once, now you're my girlfriend, and let's get married. And it's like, oh, whoa.
But, I mean, that's a folly. Like, if you're really good at what you do, it's you can accidentally like trigger those chemicals in the brain.
Yeah.
And especially after some sort of a release, you get all fucked up in the head. That was special. That was special. I'm special. I'm an exception.
Exactly. Good thing I'm not really a good liar, so I don't play along with that too deeply, which is nice. I know a lot of girls who are really good at that and like have sugar daddies and that whole thing. And I'm real me. I'm not trying to be anything else. I can't fake it. I can't fake it.
You keep it real as to like what we're doing here.
Yeah, very much.
That's good.
Very much. Yeah.
So no wait. So what was that first ad like? That first experience?
Oh man, that first day I saw 11 people in like 6 hours.
Well, you
or
jumped
something.
straight into the collective?
Oh yeah, the same day I came and interviewed, and then they were like, "Oh, we're going to put up an ad for you." We took some pictures, or the pictures you sent us, and they immediately had someone coming in. They sent out like emails to their regulars, I guess.
Oh Jesus!
And yeah, it was definitely a lot of figuring out what are my boundaries are, what other people's boundaries are. And people were immediately trying to push it, knowing that I was new. So
The customers or the place?
oh, the customers, yeah, for sure.
Because it felt like at least the one that you were at, it seemed like everyone was kind of on the same deal and had the same rules. Like it didn't seem like anyone offered more or less than your average gal.
Totally. At that time, I would say,
Yeah.
and since then, like going to different places, there's definitely everyone will deny that they do extras, but from my experience, it seems like a lot of people actually do. I don't personally, but I do some fetish stuff, but...
Yeah. I mean, I always prefer when they're up front, because I don't want to have to, like, do weird negotiations. That's why I don't like Asian massage parlors,
Oh, gosh.
aside from the language barrier. But, like, some of them, especially, like, the ones that in Midtown, they'll want to do, like, the negotiation on the flip. And that's when they'll be like, so what do you want? And then here's what it would be. And I'm like, no, you're killing the vibe.
Yeah, I don't want to think about money.
Yeah, do that before.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then I can tell you up front, like, oh no, I'm not trying to fuck you.
Right.
And then we can get that out the way. But I've been in positions where I'm like, you know what, I'm good. I don't even want that now. I'm just gonna go.
Exactly.
It's like such a mood killer.
It is. I'm not trying to do that. I don't think that's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can understand that if it's just a very purely sexual thing, but yeah, and this is no disrespect, but I have never had better massages than those Asian massage parlors. Some like 60-year-old woman who's been giving massages for 80 years.
Yeah.
You know, those ones.
Going real deep and
Yeah.
nasty with it.
And I'm just like, so it's like you're just killing what was so awesome.
Yeah. You feel
So-
all relaxed and you think about money. No.
So that first one, 11 dudes in one day?
Yes. It's one of my records. And it was a lot. And definitely, I was a shy and quiet girl. So it was a little bit challenging to learn how to say no. Mm-hmm. That was like one of the biggest lessons the first time around, I want to say.
Okay.
But that very quickly in sex work becomes something you get very used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard line. And I think it's encouraged by a lot of collectives to sort of play it up and just pretend like, oh yeah, in the future, totally, maybe. But I'm not that girl.
Mm-hmm. Where you're just like, oh, my wrists are so not prepared for this.
Exactly.
And I gotta
It was
start
interesting.
working out. I gotta buy that weird grippy thing that you just squeeze.
Yeah. Good thing I became a massage therapist later.
Yeah, so that was the other thing. And I think, because you had come up on my list, because so every like 6 or so months, I would try to see if I could make this type of episode happen. And I would do my research, and I'd go on TER, and I would like try to make a list of people to contact. And, thoughts.
I'm distracting you.
Yeah, well, I am getting a massage after all. And so you were on that list several times, and I remember one of my initial thoughts was like, I remember you being more like body rub than massage, which
Yes.
isn't necessarily bad, but me, I was like, personally, I was like, I wanted to get like a massage. So I was kind of relieved, and I was like excited when you said that you do like real massage. So when did you make that transition? Was there a reason why you did that? Because, you know, you're like a hot chick who can get away with just rubbing some dude's back for 20 minutes and asking him to flip. So why go through that trouble?
Oh, good question. And thank you. That was a nice compliment. I went to grad school for alternative medicine. So there was a program already in my school. And I decided kind of halfway through, I do Eastern medicine, so I decided halfway through that would be a good adjunct considering I do this, and just in general also for medical stuff I do. So I added it on. I didn't particularly care for being in school for it, but I feel like it's helped now. and I learned to love it.
Personally, I feel like it's got to add value because it's just it's something that most providers don't do or can't do. So if you can beat out a provider on that, I feel like you're more person to call then.
For sure. And I have a lot of clients that come in, and I've had people that just want massage.
Yeah.
Just naked massage. Because it's like, you can't ask a massage therapist, like a legal massage therapist or whatever, to be naked during a massage, of course.
Okay.
Or they can't do some teasing or touching, kind of like that.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a mix between both, and I think that that's a really nice combination for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of legal massage stuff is really prohibitive, and might be more therapeutic to be able to do other stuff.
Yeah.
And fun. A little bit of both. Oh, you're not ticklish. Good.
Not ticklish, but it feels really good.
Good.
Again, like the mix of sensual and therapeutic is like I don't know, I guess ideal for me. I wanna. That's the other thing. If I go in for a legit massage, I'm also gonna naturally be so turned on by it, and I'm just like, no, this is frustrating.
Right.
The amount of times I've
Exactly.
been to a massage envy and had to jerk it during that time after she leaves the room is some of the sadder moments. Because a massage envy ain't cheap.
No, it's not.
And so
It's
you
not.
spend that money and then you're just like, oh, I gotta do this myself now.
Exactly. Exactly. Especially having known what it could be otherwise.
To be honest, if you're comparing with massage envy specifically, for not that much more. One time, so there's an Asian massage place, or was one in my hometown in northern New Jersey, and it got shut down a couple times. It got raided because it's North Jersey. We can't have impure shit there.
No.
And I remember after it had been busted and then reopened, I went there. But I was 22, maybe.
Damn.
23. So I was young and I looked young, and I didn't have a beard then, so they were just. So at the end, she was doing some of the teasing that would normally happen, and she would get close, but she wouldn't touch. And at the end, she was basically she takes my hand and puts it on my own dick.
Oh.
But she doesn't leave the she's there and just putting her hands on other parts of my body while I jerked off.
Wow.
And it was so weird. Which, by the way, but if it was anyone else, if it was an attractive woman, I could have gotten into that.
For sure.
But it's again, it's someone's grandmother. That's not sexy.
No, that's rough.
Such a weird experience.
I'm sure.
I feel the only one of the main draws to AMPs though is that they're insanely cheaper.
Right.
And then what I always have to remind dudes who ask me, I'd be like, they are super cheap, but they will feel cheap.
Yes.
The massage will be great, but you will feel seedy, you will feel dirty.
Right.
The whole time.
They might be looking away, jerking you off, just looking into the distance. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, you'll feel like you're, I don't know, someone's being you don't know if someone's being trafficked.
Exactly.
One of those places. I feel like they're holding someone hostage, or you just have weird language barrier stuff, or so strange.
Totally. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
What so you didn't want to get the desk job, and you answered at a Backpage, and you're in this collective giving all these hand jobs. And,
Yes.
Did you ever take a break from the life? Did you try going mainstream or what?
No, I've always done both concurrently. So I started, and then I just did this for a while, maybe for a year, and then I started grad school, and my grad program was 4.5 years. So I did that and this at the same time, the whole time. And then as soon as I got my degree, I started doing work in my field. But also still continued this because of exorbitant grad school fees, and plus I'm just not ready to leave this life.
Do you like it?
Of course, it's new stuff every day. I can choose who I see. I like this more than legit massage or whatever. Because that, in a lot of ways, I do see a lot of whatever legit, I don't know what to call it, legal massage, legit massage, clients that will try to make it sexy, and it's just a very silly attempt, oh honey, little do they know, I actually do this.
You're
otherwise.
Vincent Fine, just not in this particular room.
Exactly. Exactly.
You answered the wrong ad.
Yeah, exactly.
I have both ads up.
Yes.
You picked the wrong one.
It would be easy to find me. And I've had clients from this kind of massage find me in my regular massage life on a website I work on. And they're always really dicey about it and kind of like, oh, what are we going to do? I want to get a real massage, but I'm going to be too tempted, and try to keep the two things separate.
Huh.
But a lot of times it's really just funny seeing what men try to negotiate. I mean, women too. Women have called me. I don't usually see them. I've seen 2 before, but...
In this line of work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that was a while ago. But
well, that was an interesting. I wasn't expecting that response out of you when I said that the person whose place we're at, would maybe want one, and she wanted a legit massage. But your response was that you don't take on female sexy massage clients right now.
Not right now. And I might again in the future and stuff, but it's also like, and this is a terrible thing to say, but I've found that a lot of women, like, for example, the first woman who ever called me was on the phone and she was like, well, I just want to make sure that, we have connection and that you're into girls too, and what's that like?
You're
and I was like,
lady, just
come in, right, exactly. But at the time I was like, oh, probably for a woman it's hard to request sex work, and, poor woman that she feels like upset about this and has had so many bad experiences. And so I was like sort of going along with it and talking to her for a while. Next thing I know, I hear heavy breathing and then some moaning, and then she's like, okay, bye. I was like, God damn it. She got me. What? She got me.
That's normally such a guy thing.
Yes. And that's why I was like, oh,
That's
fuck.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
There's gender equality for you. Women can be creeps on the phone too.
Absolutely, and they tricked me much more than men. I feel like men, I immediately know. I'm like, oh yeah, obviously this guy's jerking off on the phone. He just wants to chat, and did not even know with this woman. I was like, man, people are always trying to pull fast ones.
Well, so why no female sexy clients now?
Well, with people that I'm seeing, let's say people, I want to say.
Sure.
It's just sort of like an agreement I wanted to make, and that make them more comfortable, make me more comfortable. Just for now. Just
Was there a
like.
reason why the men, like all the dicks in New York City, are fine, but women weren't?
I personally, it was more of a request to me and not my own idea to make up.
Oh no, that's what I thought.
Yeah, exactly. So to me there's no difference, but I have a reason? Really, just like the fact that it's more, I guess, intimate, and that there's a less, like with men, there doesn't really have to be any sort of emotional connection, and for women as well, I think, usually, but a lot of women don't feel that way, and they think like anytime you're doing something with somebody sexual, that there has to be like another layer of things, which I don't necessarily think is true, but just trying to be, continue to do my work, but also be respectful of people around me and see if that's a thing. But I would never stop doing this work for somebody, but...
But you'll make certain exceptions.
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting.
Like, for example, I used to... This is not really a thing I don't do anymore. I still do this, but I used to do a lot more prostate massage stuff.
Okay.
And then for a while, somehow on TER, I became known as the queen of fisting or something.
What?
I was like, what? So that was a thing for a while.
Wait, how did you become the queen of fisting?
I don't know. Somebody dubbed me that name because one day people were asking me for prostate massage. I didn't know anything about it, but I tried it out, and I guess something clicked, and then someone spread the word.
Did you fist them?
Oh yeah, I fisted a lot of people.
You can do. You don't have to fist a guy that hit the prostate.
No, for sure. Most people don't.
You're going 4 fingers over the edge.
Oh yeah, for sure. And a lot of the fisting experiences I've had have been very crazy and messy and nasty and whatever. But
and then the TER just went.
Oh,
and for anyone who doesn't know, the TER is the erotic review. It's just a website for you. It's kind of like a Yelp for sex workers, and so you can find escorts and body rub girls and dominatrixes on there, and people leave reviews. But also, and the part that I like about it is it shows. Oh, it kind of shows the menu thoroughly broken down.
Yes.
To the each individual little act, and then each little subset of each act. It'll say whether or not they do blowjobs, and it says whether or not they do blowjobs with condoms, whether or not they spit or swallow. It's very particular.
Very detailed.
Yeah, which to me is helpful because I can search by each one, whether it's I think that's Queen of Fisting.
Yes.
At least it was true because I've had providers tell me that people will write fake reviews
For sure.
that says that they offer things that they don't.
That's very true. And I've had, I have two names, Molly and Amelia, which is actually the same name. It's just the shortened version. One is the shortened version of the other.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But I had somebody who I guess didn't realize I was the same person and saw me twice, same username. One under Molly, one under Amelia. I have 2 reviews. And one of them is like, in detail, like, oh yeah, she climbed on top of me, just started going to town on that dick, and then fucked her in the ass, I fucked her in the pussy, just going like on and on and on. Then the next one he wrote was like, yeah, this girl won't let me do anything. She doesn't even want to jerk me off. She makes me jerk myself off. She has big limits, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, first of all, I mean, obviously I'm not fucking people.
Yeah.
So, and that was just like a cute little fantasy he had, which is lovely. But very weird for him to not even have realized that I was like the same person. He was making up whatever he wanted to make up.
And neither review is true. The good and the bad one were both false. And I don't understand the purpose of it because it's not like Reddit where you can get upvotes.
Exactly.
It's not like you don't get shit out of it.
Exactly. It's so true.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't really understand. And I think that there's a lot of that kind of... also had a friend who, it's terrible, but in the industry who had a stalker. Oh. And that happens. I've had a few bad encounters like that, but she had a legit, found her real name, found her address, her husband's address, all crazy stuff. And he was writing bad reviews under different usernames for her because she wouldn't see him anymore, obviously. And I think she'd only seen him one time, and it already went crazy. So that was unfortunate for her because then her profile obviously got fucked by horrible reviews.
Right.
But she had a lot of her clients after that write, no, all you guys, just so you know, she has a stalker. Don't listen to these bad reviews. She's amazing.
I think a savvy person, a savvy shopper, if you will. I like to consider myself a savvy shopper.
Sure.
But I think if you can tell if all the reviews are one way and one is really bad, you can be like, well, maybe that guy was an asshole, and vice versa. I think a savvy guy can tell the difference or get the gist of what someone's like and weed out the things that don't seem like they match.
For sure.
Especially with people who have 40 reviews and shit.
Yes.
I think yours has a lot of reviews, so they'll be fairly consistent because you do a pretty consistent experience, it seems.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't offer extras, there's not really an opportunity for reviews to deviate.
Exactly. Unless it's fetish stuff, and that's a specific thing, obviously, Fisting Queen. So something like that.
Had you ever done anything with a dude's butt before you were asked to do it for money?
A little bit. I'd sort of went close by. I never done anything
She just went close by.
I did. I just went close by. I've never done anything really too intense. No really penetrative stuff. Just a little bit of teasing, stuff like that. I'd never had anybody ask me for it before. I didn't know it was such a big thing. And like I said, I still do it now sometimes, but it's not... I guess after my name originally got changed or whatever, I wasn't known as Fisting Queen anymore, which was...
But what was that thought when you were what do you want me to do?
Oh yeah, it was.
What?
I mean,
why?
I'm super open and excited about weird experiences. I'm the girl that some
you got
crazy
the tattoos for it. Right?
Oh, for sure. Someone will come on the subway and start acting wild, and I'm the first person that's yeah, go ahead, talk to me, tell me about it, what's going on. So anything new and different I'm into. So I was great, I'm gonna fist somebody now. Let's see what that's like. And it went really well. I guess it's definitely stranger than I expected. It kind of, it's a strong muscle. It hurts your hand. It's a lot, but it was kind of fun after a while. But then, like I said, having a few, pardon the pun, but really shitty experiences, changed my tune a little bit. And some guys just really don't give a fuck. They're oh, I just shit all over? That's fine. Let's continue. It's no.
We're kind of done now.
Yeah.
The rest of the time it's going to be used for cleanup.
Exactly. And then they even think oh, well, she's going to clean it up, so it's fine. It's well, I'm not changing your diaper. I'm not your mommy. I hope you don't shit everywhere when you're at home. But maybe that's what they think of this experience as, is letting loose and being able to do something they wouldn't normally be able to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Why? What?
Sorry, I keep going back
No,
to your
no,
ass.
please.
It's so fun to massage.
Why is that?
It's a good shape. I just want to keep grabbing it.
Do tell.
Yeah.
They
I've seen a lot of
can't see.
asses. I've seen a lot of asses. Oh yeah, let me talk you up right now about this ass. It is good. It's like perky.
Perky.
Yeah. I see a lot of asses and like generally tend to think women's asses are more beautiful most people are like, oh, women are so beautiful, and I agree with that, but guys don't often have perky asses, I feel.
Okay.
Just like I've seen like a lot of dicks, and when I give someone a compliment, I mean it.
Right.
And I hate, it's probably like, some people like that idea of like, oh, you've seen a lot of them, so that's actually a good compliment. And others are like, oh no, you've seen a lot of dicks. But
I've asked this question before. What makes a good dick to you?
oh, it depends on the activity.
Right, but I guess let's go with aesthetics.
Okay.
What makes a good dick?
What makes a good dick?
Yeah. I just never asked this question while we were both naked.
Yeah, I can't see your dick right now, so
Right.
there's no bias at all. Let's see. I mean, this is a personal
Sure. Yeah,
opinion.
it's purely personal.
I like thick dicks to look at. I like when they're, I guess I tend to like darker. I don't know why, but I find that aesthetically pleasing. I also like cut and uncut. That's all well and good with me. It doesn't, like, length is not a huge, necessarily exciting thing, I think. And I've also had guys come in with massive dicks that's actually really difficult to handle because they're so big. And these guys are like, yeah, I can't even fuck because it's too big. Mm-hmm. My life sucks, can't get a blowjob. It's like, oh, poor baby,
Poor
dick is
fella.
too big. But I don't know. I have a lot of different opinions about dicks, and depending on the day, or like I said, the activity.
Depending on the day.
Yeah. Some days, it's like, variety is the spice of life?
Yeah, anytime I think that, I think Chasing Amy.
Yes.
He's got the stack of porno mags, and they're going for one day. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to be into.
Yeah.
I could be into girl on girl. I could be into interracial. Sometimes I like the idea of a chick on a horse.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's so true.
All right.
It's so true. Even for me, anybody, I think. Like, there's always that moment when you're like getting real weird with it and you're watching a porn that you never expected and you're like, oh wow, I was just really into that weird like lactating porn for a second. I don't know why, but
I now gotta go digest this new information about myself.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you're dating, or you said partners before? You're not monogamous, or you're just casual?
I don't do monogamy.
Okay.
I never have, really.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of knows what I do, and I'm in like a few actually pretty serious ones right now, but that doesn't stop me from really anything else. I don't really just have space in my life for other serious things,
all right.
but casual things for sure. And yeah, I'm young. I'm not that young anymore, but I'm young. I'm still in my 20s, so
Sure.
I'm young enough. Want to have fun.
How did you first get into non-monogamy?
Oh my gosh, very weird story, but when I was in high school, I had this really serious boyfriend. And one day he went to a show and turns out it was a Christian show, and he found the Lord. And the Lord started talking to him and telling him he can't have sex anymore. So we should still be together, but definitely can't have sex. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm 16. I'm feeling some type of way. I'm definitely going to continue having sex. So he was kind of dicey about it, but we sort of agreed to have like an open thing where he wouldn't have sex with anybody because of God or something, but I would. And
We're going to be polyamorous. I'm going to date God.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He was in love with the Lord, which was great. But I ended up starting to hook up with his sister's boyfriend. Ugh.
Love it.
Yes.
I was hoping you were going to stop at sister, but
Yeah.
I'll stop
Oh,
at
it'd be
sister's boyfriend.
so nice. Yeah. I actually went through, during that time period, like the first people I'd ever been with were women.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess girls, not not to be creepy, but when I was young. And then in high school, I wasn't really anymore. But then after that, I was again. So during that time, I was not thinking about his sister, but I would probably think about that now.
And how was that? How'd that go? Being in high school and doing that.
It was fun for me at the
The
time.
Jesus people normally aren't into that type of thing.
No,
right?
well, he certainly didn't know it was that person that I was being with.
Sure.
Yeah, it was interesting. I love it. I've actually always been the type of person to like to live like two lives. Like this. Like, you know, my family obviously doesn't know I do this. And I have like a respectable medical career on the side, I feel like, on my other side. So I always like to have duality, I think.
Are you tired of trying to meet people online and it just stays online? Then you need to check out my sponsor, the Pure app. Pure takes you from in-app to in real life in a matter of hours, literally. You make a request to meet someone that only lasts for 1 hour at a time, and if there's mutual interest, you have just 1 hour to make plans in a chat window before it disappears. And everyone on Pure is there for the same reason. For some fun, safe, awesome, casual sex. I want to hear all of you start chanting right now. Out of the app, bend into the streets. Out of the app, bend into the streets. Download Pure from the App Store or Google Play. Pure, getting you from online to offline to getting off. Now back to the show.
When did you learn what you were doing dating-wise was like a thing that people do?
Probably not till later, I want to say. Because I went through another open relationship after that was not good, I think. And then I only probably started successfully having relationships that I felt good with and they felt good with, like, probably when I started doing this, around that time, like when I was 22 or so, 21. Yeah, it was great. And ever since then, it's been nothing but good stuff, I feel like.
Nice.
I'm leaning into you again, sorry.
No, it's alright. You're please lean in.
I'm a little hot though, so I'm gonna take my top off.
Please take the top off. It can't come off soon enough. I was trying to figure out how to mic you up or how to mic up the room, and I was like, I'm gonna try to figure out how to mic you so that you can wear as little as possible.
Yeah. Feels better, right?
I'm a fan.
Everything's staying put.
Good, thank God.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
It's important muscles in here. Gotta loosen up.
What muscles?
I mean, there are a lot of the, like, flexor muscles, let's say. There's a lot of muscles up in here, but this is actually an attachment for the hamstring.
Get sexy and medical.
Exactly, right? Some
Go
people
for it.
want to. You never know. And that's actually a weird thing sometimes. Like, you'll be in the middle of, like, the actual sexy part, and people are just like, so, what's your cat's name?
I mean,
How's your day? I'm like, no, it's not time for that. We're not doing that right now. We're doing sexy things.
I've definitely been guilty of such things.
Yeah, during the hand job.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I feel like, it's like fun and like, it's more like fun and flirty than like casual conversation about the cat.
Yes.
But
fun and flirty's fine.
yeah, sometimes chatty, sometimes not, you know?
Right.
I remember, so when I saw you, one of the distinct things I remember was that I think you ended up just on the table with me.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of like a lot of touching in general.
Right. Is that a cue for something?
No,
This?
that's not the table with me. Running her massive tits on my back. No, it was just something I remember. I mean, I think you guys had like some kind of monster tables that we were both like lying on our sides on, but
Yeah.
I just remember it being like a lot of that and a lot of. That was the other reason why I was like, I should reach out to Molly for this, because I remember we had like, you were very chatty, very good conversation, very peppy. I was like, oh, perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, that would be good.
Yeah. I love chatting. I work on a queen size bed now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
At that place?
A new place. New place. Yeah.
Okay.
New place, old collective. Second collective I was ever at.
That they moved. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, but once they got it in, I was kind of like, this is awesome, and everybody so far has loved it.
So, what do you dig in like your personal sex life when you're not doing this?
Oh, good question. I'm a very, like, I don't have a type. I like new things. I like seeing what's out there, experiencing things never experienced before, different countries. I like a lot of like spur of the moment stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to do a lot of like anything exciting. Like on my birthday this year, I went to Joshua Tree.
Okay.
And I went camping, and I went with some friends and some friends of friends, and there was like this moment where everybody was sort of snuggling in a tent, just hanging out, and then someone like grazed up against my nipple, and I was like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. And next thing you know, we both like kind of snuck out, went in the middle of the desert and fucked a lot. He had a girlfriend, which is fine, I don't care.
Awesome.
And we continued to do that for days and days after that, like on the low, at a friend's parents' house. It was like very like me being 17 again or something.
What I had one I had a listener from my Patreon page asked. She is also a sex worker of sorts, and she wanted to know how much emotional labor versus physical labor this job in particular entails. Because I've had escorts on the show, I've had on dominatrixes, but I haven't had on like body rub girls yet.
Oh, awesome. That's a really good question. There's a lot of emotional labor. I feel like I handle it really well because there's a lot of it in my other job as well. But once it gets to be too much, I definitely shut down a little bit. Like I've had...
Like during the session or outside?
I'm outside. Like, yeah, after a while, like, or I'll stop seeing certain clients because it's too much for me. Like I had a client I was seeing for years, maybe like 5 years or something. And he started having like a midlife crisis, and he couldn't get it up anymore because he had a surgery, and it was really unfortunate, but he like mistook that as like, I'm falling out of love with my wife and I should leave my kids and be with you. And you know, I was like, no, that's not how it's gonna go down. And he just refused to believe that we weren't meant for each other. And it was super challenging, I think, to have to cut him out, but it's been a year and a half and he still calls me every week.
Oh, no. Every week?
Every week. Every time I'm working, he still calls. A bunch,
man.
like 10 times.
Even dummy 12-year-old Billy Priscilla learned that every week has a limit. Touching okay?
Yeah, touching the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess I would assume that when someone is almost 60, they probably would know better, but maybe not. You never really know.
What a moron.
Yeah, I know.
And an asshole.
I know. I still feel somewhat bad about it, because I'm a sweetheart. I don't know. I understand a lot of the extensive reasonings why people come to see sex workers. And I think I'm more open than a lot of people, like, and this is like a terrible, probably trigger warning type thing, but there are a lot of people with fantasies like about their sister, or, you know, things that are traditionally taboo. That I'm willing to listen to, at least, whereas other girls, and I know a lot of girls in the sex work industry who have been abused, and they won't even listen to it, rightfully so. I obviously understand that. But.
You had a guy who told you about him and his sister?
Oh yeah, showed me pictures of him and his sister fucking. I mean,
oh,
who knows
him and
if it
his
was
sister fucking?
Yeah, if it was actually his sister, who knows? But like a lot of that kind of stuff. Or I've had people who have been abused that liked it and they want to be punished for it, and those are like dom type sessions.
Right.
And that's definitely a thing. But I have a lot of friends, coworkers that would never see somebody like that. But I won't see anybody who, I guess my limit for some reason is there are people who want you to yell racial slurs at them.
Oh man, the race play stuff.
Yes.
How did that go?
I've never done it.
You wouldn't do it?
That's not something I'm doing.
Did anyone ask you?
Someone asked me on the phone.
Okay.
And that's, so the only two things I ever really said no to is that, and someone who, and this is probably because I'm in the medical field and I know better, but someone who had a doctor fantasy and wants to inject people with B12, give people shots. He's not in the medical field, doesn't know.
What is B12?
It's like a vitamin.
Okay.
So, I mean, but who knows if it's actually B12?
Sure.
Who knows if he knows how to inject somebody? You know, I'm not really into getting shots from strangers that are not in the medical field.
How about just stop at shots from strangers?
Yeah.
Or from some people, just shots?
Yeah, exactly. And so many girls I knew were like, oh my god, why don't you get the free B12? That shit's expensive. What a great thing. I love getting those free shots. Like, not a thing for me. I mean, do you? But that's my line, I guess.
Okay.
Those two things are the only things I've not really been that down for.
What was the oddest request that you had that you did follow through on?
There have been a lot, but the one that first comes to mind is I had a guy who I first would see for, he had a fetish of watching me smoke cigarettes over and over, which I don't do. I smoke a lot of weed, so it's fine and it doesn't bother me. But that was fine, and I would just do that. And then it like gradually progressed after a few sessions into like, so I'm gonna jerk off while you do that, and I'm gonna put lube on my dick, and I'm gonna light the lube on fire.
Whoa!
Or try to like,
what the
yeah.
Oh.
While you smoke, and then you can like put cigarettes out on me, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna put cigarettes out on you. I guess I'll ash on you if that's the thing. And he thought that was really sexy.
It's a sexy compromise.
I guess, right? And then one day he brought in like a mask where I would smoke, and I had to blow the smoke into the mask so that he couldn't breathe. And he thought that was like really hot. But
Takes different strokes to move the world.
very much different strokes in many ways.
So there was an entire. I went to like a play party a few months ago where the theme was medical play.
Oh.
And my then girlfriend. It's weird. I just had a breakup on Sunday. I'm trying to get used to.
Sorry.
That's alright. This is my first episode where I'm like saying then girlfriend instead of girlfriend, and I'm getting used to it. It's fun. I'll be okay. I'm eating carbs.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
so her friend wanted to get his balls injected with saline,
ooh.
and then they get blew up to get like fucking really big, and he just walked around the party with massive balls.
Whoa, did you see them? You were checking them out?
Yeah, how's I gonna not look at them? They were huge.
Oh man, I want to see that.
Like I'm talking like big balloon status.
What?
And they just walked around, or like I don't know. It was all they had like an entire room set up for like all the blood play stuff, and they had a doctor who's like in our community here, like that he was there and he was like kind of administering a lot of stuff, and
That's awesome.
it was strange though, because like I'm not a kinky dude,
Right.
but wow, like some of the things I saw were just strange.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Because I guess being in the medical field, I'm like already a little like scared of that stuff, or I know the risks or whatnot. So I'm always a little bit cautious. But yeah, having said that, I go to Burning Man every year. And, I've been to a lot of like sex camps
I bet
there
we have
and
a
stuff.
lot of mutual friends.
Yes, probably so, huh? And I've seen a lot of like blood play and stuff there at certain spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or medical play or all sorts of kinds of different things. But yeah. Oh, do you go?
Oh no, I haven't been. I like showers.
Yeah, I
I
don't
like
blame
candy.
you.
I like showers. I don't like the heat.
I don't like the heat either. That's been the biggest challenge for me.
I will probably go at some point, just like to go, but it is not.
You go
like,
RV status.
What's that?
Like get an RV.
Oh yeah, I mean like
Yeah.
I will likely go at some point in my lifetime. I just don't see it
Yeah.
happening soon. But I basically love a lot of the people in like my little like poly burners orgy going crew, or like a lot of them all go together. They have their own camp. You heard of Hacienda?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I
Oh, nice.
How did you first get in the Burning Man?
I'm also this kind of person where once I decide something is happening, so it was like a late drunken night and I had just met a new friend, and we decided that day, like,
Met someone at the bar, like, we're
Yeah,
going to
yes,
Burning Man.
exactly, and then we went. It was really weird, but it was great.
Come on, get your bicycle, let's get going.
Yeah. And actually, it was tough because then I ended up dating this person, and we were breaking up the week of Burning Man. So
talk about some bad trips.
Yeah. So that was rough, but I had a bunch of other friends that were going and stayed with them and whatnot. And it was a really challenging year for all of us. But then since then, that was 3 years ago. So then the following year was so much better, and it's just better and better and better. I think it's gonna keep getting easier and easier, knowing my boundaries or what I want, don't want. I don't really have that many boundaries, but
what are your few boundaries then?
I guess there's no real physical boundaries. It's more like boundaries of like, what do I need? Do I need to eat now? Do I need to drink now? I mean, sex-wise, like, I had a great time. We actually, last time I went, a friend of mine and I decided that we deserved this year to be about us, and we were gonna have concubines and have, like, a whole harem, and people were gonna, like, bring us whatever we wanted, and it actually happened.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Somehow.
And it feels good.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Combination moan. Two birds with one moan.
Right? Mm. It's not even a sexual moment. I'm really excited to hear those noises.
That was good. Like I said, I like a good massage. I've said this a lot on the show, but you know, like there are definitely like the ads for like some you can get some like hot 22-year-old to rub your back for 20 minutes and then she'll ask you to flip. It's like, no, I want a real massage.
Right.
You know?
You can have both.
Yeah, but it does make finding a provider definitely more difficult.
For sure.
Because then and that's why I like a site like TR, because I can see the hints of when they mention that it's a good massage. No, but it definitely makes it harder to find.
For sure. I actually don't advertise that I do massage, so I should probably start.
I mean, it's definitely, you know, especially on that site, it's a search filter you can do and just simply go like massage quality above average to average about this and anything below.
See, as a provider, we don't get to see any of that.
Right.
So that's the thing.
You've never really like poked around what it looks like as a user?
No, I've had like a client who would send me my reviews.
Okay.
Like, you know, because it'll say like read on, there'll be like a little blurb and then the bottom will say like, if you're a member, read on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't access the like read on part.
Ooh, can you use a little motion, please?
Yes.
I've got oddly hairy back of leg.
Yeah.
Like just specifically back of leg, hairier than most of leg.
It's not too cold?
No, you're fine.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to freeze you out.
No, we are more than good. The woman whose place this was, we used to date and see each other. She's been on the show. Emily, remember guys? Fun one, broke my heart. Really, really good times. One time for my birthday, she got me. She's in a field where she can also give like a very solid massage, and
nice.
She gifted me like a happy ending massage, basically at the place that she works, because she basically runs it. So when after hours, after everything closes and everything left, she had me come and she opens the door and basically everyone. But it was like the dead of winter and there was no heat. And I was freezing cold.
Oh no!
Like trying to enjoy, and I did enjoy it. Emily, thank you. It was a wonderful experience. But like I had to like actively I had to keep imagining I'm in Florida. It's like I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
I was like I experiencing higher than average shrinkage. Like it was like a very cold experience.
Were you able to get hard?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
good,
we were
good.
able to do some things, and like we and fucking whatever, because we would fuck in that office like all the time. That was
hot.
I accomplished. We.
Not that I don't want to hear your story. It's a good spot for me to go.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I accomplished all the office sex I think I ever need to have with dating and seeing her.
I like that idea.
Sorry, what was I saying? being a bad podcast host.
You're being an excellent host. I don't know how you're going to be able to talk through this other half, but when I'm about to flip you over,
We'll figure it out.
we're going to figure it out.
Time for the fan whore appreciation moment. Gonna do some shout outs to some very special supporters of mine on Patreon. A lot of y'all have been with me a very, very long time. Fans like Dave K and Justin C, holy shit, y'all have been with me for just a month shy of 2 years. 2 years of pledging money every month. Fuck, I love you both. In a super hetero money way. And I want to welcome a couple of newer fan whores, Bill S. and Eddie J. You two were hard to find on the internet, so I can't really comment anything specific about you other than I think it's awesome that you support independent content creators like myself. This episode of the Manwhore podcast would not have happened without my supporters on Patreon, because this episode costs more money than usual to produce for, well, obvious reasons. What is Patreon? Patreon's kind of like a monthly fan club subscription meets Kickstarter. You pledge a certain amount of money per month, and then depending on how much money you pledge, you get different types of rewards. And most importantly, it's a fantastic way to support me and the work that I'm doing, giving you a free podcast every week. And you too can get a shout out on the show for becoming an official fan whore for as little as $1 per month. You can alter your pledge at any time. Just head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. And if I have to spell manwhore podcast, we've got a fucking issue. Thank you all so much. Let's get back to the show.
Do you do so on your flips? Do you do additional massage, or do you kind of just go straight to things? Not to spoil it for myself, but like there's some people because some people don't do like head massage. They do chest. They continue doing legs, and some are just like kind of, especially the ones who don't do legit massage, will kind of just flip and do the thing that they think they're there for.
It depends on the person. So, like, if someone requests something, obviously, I'm down, or how much time I have, or planning things out. I'll tease a lot with my boobs, I think, usually, which I'm going to try to today. But I got this mic going. I'm not going to get it lotiony, I promise.
No, it's alright. I think you can get it lotiony. I'm not too worried about it.
Good. Yeah, so it depends. I like to often, I'll do a regular massage on the back or something, and then I'll do more teasing stuff on the front for a minute.
Gotcha.
Do you want to find out?
Whenever you want.
Yeah,
You're doing a great job teasing as is. She's been doing a lot of light strokes.
Yeah, I love teasing. It's one of the best parts.
Yeah, you perverts listening.
Have you ever gotten off on your show before?
Not yet.
What?
They keep asking me to. So I did a series this is part of a series of Naked episodes. I'm going to try to get this out while you're doing that. So I've been doing a series of Naked episodes with total strangers. I think if I say it as quickly as possible, I'll be able to get it out of my face without being distracted.
Yes.
Doing a series of Naked episodes where I talk to total strangers about sex and dating in the nude, because I feel like that's when you're most vulnerable with a new person. And the first person in this series, this woman Hillary, I found her through Tinder. So there's obviously a mutual attraction, and there's just a lot of there's a lot of obvious chemistry and sexual tension during it, like pauses where, I don't know, we would stare at my dick, and my dick would get hard, and then she would describe, she's now it's hard. She was actually upset that I wasn't hard right away. She was I was kind of expecting to drop the towel and there'd be a boner, and then we found out that if you just stare at my dick and talk about it, it will show up because I'm a narcissist. But then towards the end, she was I forget how it comes to be that we decided this, was she was well, I'm kind of part of me wants to touch it and jerk your girlfriend out, and she's but I don't think I want to do that on mic, but I could, you could, if one of us proposed I'll masturbate and you narrate it, and she's okay, start jerking off, and then I cut because I'm evil, and I put that whole narration portion as a bonus episode to my paid subscribers on Patreon. Yeah, so no, I have not come on the show yet.
Wow.
But I have been erect on the show, and I haven't I haven't hooked up on the show, but I have made out on the show before. I did an episode with Nina Hartley. Do you know who that is? Mm-hmm. And then towards the end, she kept calling me cute throughout the whole thing, and then she's we should totally make out. I'm like, oh yes, definitely. And
Yes.
then she starts moving over. I was like, oh, you mean now? And it's like we're on mic and we're like making out. And I was like, I'm making out with like one of the porn legends.
Yes.
I was like, holy shit.
Hell yeah.
I was like, oh, and it's like, dear Lord. Yeah.
If little you could only see you now.
I don't even know who Nina Hartley was, but as soon as I did my research and I realized how big she was, and she'd been doing it for decades, I was like, porn icon, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
But no, so that's the most I've done while the microphones are on.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going into new territory.
This is we're already in new territory right now. Her hands have been places, whether you guys can tell or not, that no guest hands have been before. And what's nice is they can't tell which moans are like sexy moans and which ones are like, this is a good massage moan. Hey.
Oh, complete. And they don't know if I'm being fisting queen or not right now.
But I'm gonna spoil it, guys. There's no fisting. I am a specifically 2-finger max guy. Yeah, my ex bought me like a set of butt plugs, just so we could have something, and there was like a small, medium, and large, and like the most I could ever go was medium.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty good.
Can't go.
That's pretty. Large is crazy. Large is hard.
Large is hard.
Yeah.
I try. Lord knows I try.
I think I'm gonna tease you from the other side. Let's see.
This is what we in the biz call the flip. Just no
Flip.
big deal, guys. Just some shop talk. Let me adjust this. Shift this over.
Comfy.
Yeah, I'm gonna like angle myself so I'm closer to it, but that should work. Oh, now I get to finally see.
Yeah.
Touching?
Yeah. They've gotten bigger since I've last seen
Oh,
them,
yeah?
I think. They
Why?
just keep getting bigger and bigger forever. H cup now.
Jesus, bombshell. People, if you could only see what I'm seeing.
So hard. It would be so nice to just put your dick right in here. But
Do you do that usually? I never understood. Like, I get the aesthetic of doing the tit job.
Yeah.
I don't understand the like how it. I'm just like, what? I don't know. I feel like the hands are better. Like,
I think so.
Feeling wise, I'm
Yeah.
like, it looks cool because I saw it in a porno. But I'm just like, I'm just gonna angle that there.
thank you.
I'm just like, I don't understand the looking of it, but
Yeah.
people like what they
People
like.
like it.
Yeah.
People are into- I don't do it all the time.
It's like a specific. That's another filter on TER. Is like
Is there
whether
a
or not
whole
they
thing?
do. What do they call it? I forget if it's Greek or
It's-
Russian
It's
or
called Russian or Swedish.
Russian or
usually.
Swedish, right?
I think Greek is fucking
Oh
yes,
yeah, Greek is
right?
the yes though.
Yeah.
Jesus. Licking her own nipples now. Yeah. If I'm like oddly being reserved, I feel like it's like record. God forbid she said, "Excuse you," and then there's an article on Jezebel about problematic
Oh my
podcast
God.
host Billy Casita. You're fun.
You're doing a great job, I have to say. It's
Oh,
hard
what?
to keep mind clear and be able to talk and do the things you're doing when someone's being so distracting.
Would you say that majority of your clients are like guys you don't find attractive or that you wouldn't normally like hook up with? Or they're also like typically older than like
Yes.
mid-20s,
Yes.
right?
Yes. They're like 50s, 60s.
Or so I would experience that, like I would sometimes get surprises like the one I described before.
Mm-hmm. Because you were young and attractive.
You called me attractive. That is too nice of you.
Oh.
Thank you. I would get a lot of I wouldn't get like free like random blowjobs and shit normally, but like I would get like people would start making out with me, and people who like that wasn't on their menu typically, and I was like, oh, like again, it's the special thing, but like. And they were like, oh no, like you're cute, you're young, like we're the same age.
Totally.
Finally.
Finally.
Because they're used to like everyone being so much older.
Yes.
And those were always times like, oh wait, is this like a thing I get to enjoy before I turn like,
it.
30? Or whatever age they typically are.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's definitely a thing. And like for example, I wouldn't do Swedish or Russian or whatever with everyone, but could be it's a thing that's a benefit for certain people.
Yeah. Our present company excluded. Do you find that like some hand jobs feel more like a job and some are more fun? Oh, come off.
Means you have to get close to me again.
Oh, God forbid.
Terrible, right?
Terrible,
Thank you.
terrible.
Do I feel like?
Are some like more like a job and some are like this is fun?
Yeah, for sure.
What are some things that make it more fun or less fun for you?
Like this, like you enjoying me getting to tease you. 'Cause I love teasing.
Okay.
But then there are people who you're literally jerking off for 45 minutes, and that's a job.
What would you want to tell potential John's tips, do's, don'ts? I wanted to choose a more intimate position for just a very business-like question.
Of course.
Because this is supposed to be a weird as fuck episode.
I think it's going quite well.
I think so too. And you let me know, by the way, if I do touch something, don't do.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Okay.
I think, like you said, showering, very nice.
Yeah, guys, take a fucking shower.
Take a shower. Especially if there's ass play. Take a fucking shower. Listen to the girl. She doesn't want you to do something. That means don't do it. If she wants you to do something, you probably should.
What are things that one should do? Particularly the ones named Billy.
Oh, particularly, huh? I think that's very good. I like being caressed. Yeah. Everything you've been doing so far, very good. Yeah. Or for example, if I'm being real nasty and I say something like, I want you to come all over my tits, then someone should do it, right?
Right,
You
right.
know, for example.
Only for example.
Yeah, of course. Nearby.
Anything else you would want to tell as this faux interview tries to hammer through? Anything else you would want to tell prospective John types that they should? Anything else they should know? Oh, how do they know if someone that they're seeing offers happy endings?
Oh, in the ads it should say something like that, I would assume. Mine is very straightforward, so I think that's...
But let's say their ads just like... So is it fair to tell guys that like, hey, if you just go to a massage place, unless it advertised with women in lingerie, you should not expect nor attempt to get a happy ending massage.
100%. That's the best PSA you can give.
But if she tries to offer it
take it.
Yeah.
If you can pay for it.
Yeah, if you can pay for it, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and no negotiating prices.
Oh, yeah, that's how you get trapped,
That's
right?
how you get, yeah.
Yeah, so she says, I'll give you, she starts being like this, like she starts like going towards your crotch and then, looks at you and says like 60. No. She goes to your crotch, gives a nod and be like, you treat me nicely. I think that's vague enough wording.
Yes.
She tries to be a little vague in her warning. Because she doesn't, if she's not a cop, she doesn't know if you're not a cop.
Right.
So if she's vague in her wording, you be vague in your wording and do a nod and yeah.
Don't write to somebody and be like, can you give me a blowjob for $150?
Yeah, that's an easy way to get accidentally arrested. Or at least, at minimum, kicked out and mocked at your local massage envy.
Absolutely.
Where the other soccer moms see you.
Exactly. Don't put money in somebody's hand. Put it on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things.
And what about someone who wants to get into, any tips for someone who wants to get into massage? They don't want to do full escorting. They'd like to do, they can handle a hand job and those very teasing non-blowjobs that you do.
Just have firm boundaries, but go for it. It's very fun.
Yeah, we displayed it earlier, remember? I asked for a thing. She said she was vague. I pushed and tried to be like, is that a no? She was like, yeah, that's a no. And then you just continue. And also be bright, bubbly, and awesome like Molly here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And use a fake name, I'm assuming.
And use a fake name. Oh, God. You like these?
I mean, they look great. They're amazing. But I don't just like those. I love your midsection. I like your legs. I like the tats. I like your face. Like I said, you are quite the right choice. Is this kind of how you thought a Happy End Massage podcast would go?
No, but that's great. I didn't have any expectations.
No expectations?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, Molly, if there's anyone in New York who would want to see you, how could they find you? How do they reach out for a possible appointment? Or if they just want to tell you how awesome the episode was, where could they reach you if you want them to reach you?
Sure, you can email me.
And where would that be?
AmeliaLikesYou@gmail.
Awesome.
Or Molly Likes You. They're both the same.
Amelia likes you or Molly likes you. Typical spelling, no like L-Y-K-E-S.
Nah.
Cool, awesome.
M-O-L-L-Y.
Like an adult.
Like an adult.
Yeah.
I'm a grown woman. I won the spelling bee.
Yes, she is. You offer women plugs and then they just want to kiss your neck. It's,
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna lie down.
You should lie down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
right?
it's about that time.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Oh, I just want to kiss your neck more. But what is that? Okay. Do you have a funny finish? Oh. What?
What? Right.
Do you have like a finishing move?
So I have a finishing move. It depends if I'm using my tits or my hand.
Okay. So tits, I'm assuming, is just shoving them in, or is there like a special tit twirl maneuver like we're in Mortal Kombat?
Well, I could be on my knees or on my back or on top like this. There's so many ways to possibly do it. So it really just depends on the day and the person.
Okay.
As well as hand jobs, same thing. But some people want it slow, some want it fast.
Some want it in the mouth, this.
Some want it in the mouth.
Right.
I can think of somebody who might want it in the mouth right now.
Yeah.
Now I'm just being a dick. I'm sorry. I'm being such a dick.
You're awesome. You're fine. You're gorgeous. You're awesome. You're great.
Had to get back at you.
I'm happy. Yeah. Well, how should I be finishing?
Where do you want to finish? Other than my mouth.
I never care. Every time it's like, where do you want to come? I'd be like, I don't know. Like, I don't. Yeah.
You can come however however you want. I might aim it at me though a little bit.
Well, let's you aim wherever you want it to be aimed. I don't care. I'm not icked out or anything. Although Emily did say like, no, I'll tell you that after. 'Cause
Yeah, tell me after.
I don't want to influence your decision.
I won't get it all over her stuff though.
Yeah, just don't aim it at her cat.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, which I locked in the bathroom.
Yes, and I kept it locked there.
Oh, I don't want it to end, but she's been amazing. Okay. Any last things you want to say to listeners before we conclude?
Oh, I think it's been all well and good. I think you've done a great job while being distracted.
You've been words, yeah.
I'm glad I got to do this.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Molly likes you at gmail.com if any of you are interested in her services. Do tell me about this episode, and also do tell your friends about this. If there is an episode to recommend, isn't this the one? Wouldn't you think? Personally, I think next week's episode is also really sweet and awesome and a great one to recommend to friends. But hey, if you got some pervert friends, fucking pass this one along. Tweet at me at @TheBillyPersita. Use the hashtag ManwhorePodcast and let me know what you thought about this week's show. You can also email me at manwhorepod@gmail.com. Love responding to your emails. Love hearing from you. Love seeing, on occasion, your titties. Right? Ooh, yeah. Join the conversation with your fellow fan whores on the Manwhore Podcast subreddit. There are individual comment threads for every episode, and I also like to post pictures, links to articles that I'm quoted in, other podcasts that I've appeared on, my thoughts, announcements, all sorts of stuff. It's a great way to interact with me and other listeners. For all you Redditors, that's r/Manwhore Podcast. Do join our community of fan whores on Patreon. It is a fantastic way to support me and the work that I'm doing with this podcast. Become an official fan whore for as little as $1 a month, which is really just 25 cents an episode. Come on, I know you've got 25 cents right now. Go make your pledge today at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. This episode would not have happened without support from Patreon, because this is the like I said before, this is the only podcast I've done that's come with an appearance fee. Easter is this weekend. I won't be celebrating, as I'm sure many of you won't be, but some of you will be, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you all go fuck like bunnies this weekend. And as always, stay slutty.
Oh, don't stop. Oh, don't stop. Don't stop. Ah.